You know, it'd be great is if Bunny was in the player slot. Welcome back, guys. We are getting into game number 1 in this best of 5 finals, and it is going to be between Bunny and GuMiho. Check if GuMiho is ready. And yeah, he didn't say it. Okay, so yeah, had a pretty exciting PvT. Both semifinals were actually really good, and did come down to a mirror matchup. I mean, what else is new for Korea, right, guys? But this is between Bunny and GuMiho. GuMiho, a guy we know a lot about when it comes to TvT, especially. Bunny, not so much. His TVZ is apparently on point, but to beat a guy like GuMiho in TvT, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Bunny's a bit of an unknown quantity at this point. He like sort of pops up now and then, but he's not like consistently playing in anything enough to be like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be sick at TvT, or he's really bad at TvT. I guess we'll have to find out how he goes. I mean, GuMiho is solid all round. Most recently, his TvTs haven't been amazing, just purely judging by results, but that really doesn't say a lot. So we'll see how we go here on Daybreak for map number 1. In the bottom left, he is the red Terran, fresh off a win against Zest. It's GuMiho.
In the top right was the blue Terran. He is Bunny. Dust. Now, Zeph, did you talk about the devil with Rifkin? Yeah, that came off wrong. Did you talk about the logo with Rifkin?
I don't think so.
Is that sucking in a cloud or blowing out a cloud?
Phrasing. Oh god.
Did you try to squeeze in a phrasing? I done it myself.
It's blowing out.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so hang on. That doesn't look like if you've got like a mouthful of spaghetti, like your cheeks are full because you've been eating it, and you're like sucking in some more. That doesn't look like that to you?
I mean, I guess, but spaghetti doesn't cloud formation when you suck it.
Well, but I mean, like,
Conversation is just
like this is
Wow.
like that ballerina dancer, you know, that spins one way, but like you can see it spinning the other way too.
Like the train, right? That like you can see it going both ways.
Okay, I'm muting myself again. Goodbye.
Okay.
Bye.
It's definitely blowing out. Blowing dust off. You don't suck dust in. So Zeph will be in your computer
Yeah.
last time.
Exactly.
Now we got that settled. While he gets his questions answered, thank you very much to Regaltus, who just subbed for the 30 months. Rub-a-dub-dub, it's a 30-month resub. Dub-dub. Very good then, very good.
Sure, man. Like, really? Like, there shouldn't be any debate about this. I can't believe this is even a question.
What's so hilarious is that I can kind of see Rifkin's point. It's just that he, like, this wasn't something he tried to argue because he just wanted to argue. He was just like, wait a minute, that's blowing out to you? Like,
Oh, I see
It
the
was-
point. See?
it's 100%. He just thought it was
Just-
being sucked.
You just got 3 Rifkin, I'm sorry. It's just not happening. It's definitely not. Yeah, okay. I can see it. I'm
Wow.
on board. Yeah. Moving right along.
Yeah, that
TvT.
aside. Sure, TvT. We had a Reaper expand, so not too much to really talk about. Bunny went for double Reapers, which is always a little bit scary, but not really any follow-up. Impressively moving in. The Reapers is a very bold choice, but there wasn't much else you could do. Cyclone's gonna have to pop out and save the day, but no SCVs were lost, so not too big of a deal. Yeah, GuMiho. What?
The cyclone getting hit by a grenade, I assume, is what Rifkin's having a giggle about. Wow,
Having a giggle.
you guys
You want
can't
H?
hear him, but he's like losing it right now.
Whoa, that was cool. That was pretty cool. I've seen someone try and do that before. But that anyway. So TvT, they said like not too different in the openers. I mean, not too extreme. Any differences? Nothing going to be ending anytime soon. But to note, like, GuMiho has been known to go mech. If you guys don't know him, if you don't know TvT and you watch BaseTradeTV, I'm not sure what's happening with you, but yeah, he has gone mech. He will still go mech. He'll do all different types of mech if he feels up to it, but he also can do bio. So it's kind of like, well, what are you gonna do here on Daybreak? Bunny, I don't know enough to really tell you what his tendencies are. I'm gonna guess bio though. It's usually the basic one.
Yeah, I'd go with that as well. I guess time will tell. At least like with GuMiho, you have some history. You know he goes mech from time to time, so it's a little more predictable from him if he does that. But I kind of wonder, like, GuMiho coming into this, if he sort of looks at Bunny and goes, God, I actually have no idea how you play either, because these guys don't exactly face off very often, if at all. So
not that we've seen. These cyclones can do a fair bit of damage to low number of units, and spread like this, the tank isn't even really being truly effective. This is quite good damage, but Bunny finally drops his drop to the other side of the map, and that's actually going to do a lot of damage as well. A Viking will clean up the medevac, but that's equal number of SCVs going down. GuMiho taking a bit more damage. Finally pulls the SCVs back as he realizes it's cleaned up. 15 SCVs to 10 killed.
My God, that was quite a messy exchange. That's the ugly beauty of TvT in a way, if that makes any sense. Because it just, like, a lot of the time the players end up going around each other, and you just kind of make do with what you got in that moment. So all in all, Bunny does come out a little ahead in the worker counts. He's 35 SCVs to 29 of GuMiho's. So he's looking a little more solid right now. He's got a couple of tanks, a couple of Marines out the front to help defend, but there's still more Cyclone fun to be had. Now joined by a couple of tanks and a few Marines that are marching across the map from GuMiho, so he's not going to let up the pressure. He's actually taken a third base behind this as well. Third base is nowhere in sight for Bunny, so if he can't really do anything about this, or even get across the map, because GuMiho is going to try and come and do some damage.
Do you actually just say damage in Australia?
Yes.
Or is that your...
No.
Is that you think?
I don't know. I don't know where I picked that up from, but I say it quite often. Maybe it is an Australian thing. I'm not sure.
Man, there's some other like argument that we were having at BlizzCon about Australians versus Americans. But anyway, whatever. Remember that later. We do have a pretty important drop coming into the main base, one that GuMiho was entirely not prepared for because he was doing his own push. Now, he's going to be able to seat up in the natural, which will stop mining, but Bunny might be able to compromise GuMiho's production if things go really well.
Oh, he could get the stim!
Yeah, that's really big. That's big.
Oh, man. I kind of didn't expect Bunny to push, not going to lie. But here we are, and he's on the production, he's going for add-ons. GuMiho pulls the boys and grabs whatever he has left at home to try and deal with this, but it's just absolute carnage. He's not able to really efficiently take this down. It will eventually be cleaned up, but he lost a lot to do that. That said, there are basically equal number of workers killed on both sides. Just GuMiho still down on workers, and actually has... Well, he has some more Marines, but that's about the only army advantage he has.
Yeah. GuMiho has the, natural position and is still seated up on the ramp. That's a very good position. He's not going to be breaking Bunny anytime soon, so the game will continue. But Bunny is missing a third base, and of course still not mining as natural, is losing quite a lot on the economy front. Having killed Stim, that might just make up for the lack of economy. He does end up breaking GuMiho as well, taking quite a good trade. Letting his army rise above while doing that. And Stim is about to finish up for him, so he could attack with his army, and I feel like he could do a lot of damage. He also has Viking control. He's going to have faster combat shields, of course.
Yeah, I gotta say, all in all, I sort of favor Bunny's position aside from the third base of GuMiho. That's really boosting GuMiho's economy and gonna let him get his feet back under him in this game. The stim, like you mentioned, is just a really big factor for GuMiho that he's missing, and he's actually heading out across the map at the moment to try and get something done. Unfortunately for him, Bunny is already heading towards that third base with quite a bulky army. 3 tanks, some medevacs and some marines, so that third base is probably going to die. And that was his one advantage, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually really scary for GuMiho, I would say. But they once again are trading positions. Like, they're not even really trading bases quite yet, although Bunny might be able to get this base. Nothing's coming over to protect. The Vikings will absolutely ensure the kill as well. And GuMiho's going to lose his third, his advantage here. Still waiting for Stim, no second tech lab, so he's also going to still be waiting for combat shields. I feel like losing Stim and combat shields is not, your 1-1 is not going to make up for that. And Bunny's just looking really quite nice. GuMiho does return to the natural after disengaging for a second, but there's enough army, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. The medevac support and another tank coming in, he should be fine. The one advantage GuMiho has is that he has a 1-1 upgrades already. But as a +1 attack finishes for Bunny, that gap is gonna close a little bit, and still without the Stim, until that kicks in, it's really not as big of a factor as it could be. It just doesn't have the army to capitalize on it. So while I like the third base addition, he couldn't really hold on to it. He's still got to work a lead though now as a result of that. Quite behind on the tank production, but he's making do with what he's got, and I like that he's out here with this couple of medevacs full units trying to do something, even though he's not in the most ideal position army-wise.
Oh, no, he's not. At least his upgrades are still going to stay ahead of Bunny, so eventually he'll get combat shields, and then they'll be evened up on that tech front. The upgrades will be a very big difference maker. And as they're both still on 2 bases, killing that third base is only an equalizer. And you're right, GuMiho still has an economic lead with more SEVs. They're both going to have to lift their mains soon, I think, as they're mining out. And that'll be interesting. Really scrappy game here. But GuMiho is doing something very dangerous. He split up his army. Marines to one side. Whatever's left over, only 2 tanks to defend here. And Bunny's going to go for the Doom drop. He's got 4 tanks and so many Marines.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. He's in the main, he's in the production, he's in the mineral lines. And GuMiho is probably just crying a little bit right now because he's actually going for the base trade himself, but he is going to be so late to the party. It's actually going to be over by the time he gets there, so...
Yeah, and combat shield is like instantly sniped, so no combat shields for GuMiho. He does take care of the tank. No, he doesn't even take care of the tank. Wow. Okay.
Almost takes care of the tank. He does eventually get it.
Okay.
But yeah,
he's... still doesn't look very good. If it comes to a base trade, Bunny's armor is going to be so much bigger.
Yeah, it's... oh man, it's just a little sad for GuMiho here. He had some good ideas, but Bunny has chewed through pretty much all of the main at this point. He's just going to push into the natural where there is only a single tank and a marine for resistance. So GuMiho somehow has to stem and kill all the production in the main here. He knows he can't do it. GG, Bunny takes game number 1.
Running with that better army throughout most of the game.
Okay, I need to speak up here real quick because I was somehow, this is like classic Twitch moment, I was getting the blame for this stupid Dust logo conversation. I want to point out, I was muted. I had nothing to do with this. This is not fucking Rifkin's fault.
Are you okay, buddy?
No.
Dom brought that up.
Gonna be alright?
Of course
No.
Dom brought that up, because he knows you're triggered by it.
Okay, we're going to commercial break. We'll set up on our research station. See you guys soon.
Welcome back. We're into game number 2 in this final best of 5 for the day. It is a TvT, between these two guys on Havani Research Station. In the top position as the red Terran, he is Bunny.
And his opponent in the south, he is the blue Terran, known as GuMiho.
Yeah, he is known as GuMiho. He's known as a cheeser, too. Fucking GuMiho. Well, it's not too surprising. Vani, whatever you want to pronounce it. Vani sounds cooler. It's going to provide itself to some type of proxy. I mean, you think of PvT, there's tons of proxy Stargates. You think of TvT, of course, proxy Reapers come to mind. It's what I would expect from GuMiho. I mean, there's a couple of cheeses where you go like 4 racks Marines, but yeah, I don't think that's very good on professional level, so gonna have to assume it's gonna be Reapers, and there comes that gas.
Yeah.
And if Bunny doesn't scout this, if Bunny goes for a command center first, why would you ever do this? Oh my god. The safety that you get of going in the natural on Vanna, it doesn't actually apply to TvT. It seems like the worst idea in the world.
I don't know how worked up you're getting about this. It's just so good.
Oh my god. And if he holds this, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, I lose to this all the time. Like, it's so common. 2 Reapers isn't even that dedicated. Like, oh, okay, there's the third one, of course. Like, I was gonna say, there's no way that Bunny holds this. Bunny's gonna see there's no barracks at home, and I feel like she's gonna tap out. There's no point.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's kind of like, well, I am effed. There's not really
God.
much you can do about this at this stage.
There's nothing.
Oh,
Bunny, just tap out now.
oh my
Save yourself the
god.
embarrassment. You're gonna pull SCVs. Oh my god.
Well,
Oh, there we go.
yeah, there we go. There's the GG.
Wait, like, well, maybe he went for the 4 racks Marines, and I think I could do well against, even though he got 2 gases. Drat, it wasn't that. I guess then I'll tap out. Yeah.
That was a quick game number 2.
Yes, it was. But kudos to GuMiho. This is the way that you do it, Vanna. There's no other way. Always proxy. Always Reapers. Okay. What's the third map? Echo.
That's
No
it,
break,
yeah.
'cause that was pretty quick.
Man, I don't see why not do that again if it's gonna be that easy to get a win. Hey.
I loved that little desperate hope in that SCV scouting the natural. He's just like, please let there be a command center here. Please let him have done command center 2 gas before barracks. Please, God.
So, who does that? Ugh. It's because even if you went for like a Reaper expand, like 2 Reapers could have also done so much damage. Dear Lord.
Yeah. Interesting choice for sure. So Echo game is starting. We'll be into our third map. Very quickly. I can't believe this is the third one already. My god. Yeah, third match in just a moment. Still best of 5, by the way, guys. This is the finals. Winner gets $250. And second place will get $100 dues. So still, at least these guys have guaranteed them $100 at minimum.
There's been so many Australian things.
Dollar
Australian
reduce dealing damage.
Dealing damage. You also said that things are gonna go pear-shaped, and I was like, what does that mean?
Is that not an American
What?
thing as well?
No, I caught
know.
that too earlier. I was like, I saw Zombie Grub like smiling. I knew she wanted to talk about it.
It's like, what's wrong with being pear-shaped? Plenty of ladies are pear-shaped.
Well, I guess. Alright, anyway, let's get these plays introduced. In the top left, he's the red Terran known as Bunny.
And in the bottom right, is the blue Terran. He is GuMiho.
I'm just gonna leave myself unmuted because of how much this is falling apart. Like towards the end of this.
Didgeridoos and kangaroos and gamons.
That like
No,
pear
she
shape
said
means
dollary-do, not didgeridoo.
100 didgeridoo prize. I mean, I guess.
Actually, the worst prize ever.
What am I gonna do with all these?
Let's colonize Mars. I can feature all. You still giant beach? Oh god. Okay. Dear God. So. Australians. Dear Lord. Different side of the country. A different season right now. Christmas is summer over there. That makes no sense.
I'm hotter than a baby in a microwave at the moment. Like, it is really.
What? What?
I feel like I should just not talk.
Okay, Zeb, I have a real
Might
question
be more
for you.
productive for
I have a
this
real
cast.
question for you. In Australia, Do parents put their babies in microwaves?
Well, I don't know, Rifkin. What do you think?
Well, it sounds to me like in the cold,
that's how
harsh
they're safe
winters
from-
of Australia, the quickest way to heat up the baby is to stick it in the microwave.
That's how they're safe from the dingoes, you know?
Well,
That's great.
It's like, well, we don't have pouches like the kangaroos, Rifkin. How do you think we warm our babies up?
Jesus. That's so messed up. That's disgusting. Okay. So, Reaper fights are fun. Reaper fights are great.
Reaper
And,
fights are great,
still
especially
going.
when. I mean, like, the one Reaper wins and the other one is dead, so GuMiho comes out on top of that. He's also killed an SCV, I believe, so. Yeah, things going pretty good for our mate GuMiho here. He's got a second Reaper coming in here as well.
I'm still imagining 100 dudes.
Oh wow, this is just. Oh.
Fucking Rifkin.
Look at Rifkin.
Okay. So, Reapers actually get in here, get an SCV, maybe even get a Hellion. They could. They want to sacrifice themselves. Oh, they sacrificed the wrong one. Oh well, but no proxies. This game's actually going to go in the mid game. They had a really topsy-turvy game on Daybreak. Lots of going around each other's armies. Daybreak doesn't actually usually really play to that, since there's only really two two pathways. You'd expect something like that more on like Whirlwind, you know? So I can't see that happening the same way again on Echo, which should also be pretty forward, like pretty obvious what's happening as third bases come down on location. That's more of what I expect on a very macro-oriented map like Echo.
Yeah, I mean, this one should hopefully result in less nonsense like that. I guess there's still a lot of paths, but it's a little easier to defend your stuff, I guess. Like, at least all your bases are in one sort of like semicircle shape. So there's only really one spot you need to sit to roughly be able to get to most of them, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how this pans out. We've got the Cyclones coming out for GuMiho, and he's heading across the map with the medevac and a bunch of Marines. Put on some pressure.
You know,
There's a nice Marine lineup from Bunny here, ready to go. If he tries to drop it in the main, I guess that won't be very helpful, but I feel like he could just go for the front door with this. There is a tank out now, though, so he does need to be a little careful with that.
you know, I've just realized about this map.
What?
If you go around the middle part and then through that very, very middle part, the map becomes a little bit pear-shaped.
You need to stop.
That's a stretch, man.
Wow.
That's a stretch.
I'm gonna mute myself. I'll go back to being quiet. It's easier.
Come on, man, we just recovered. Oh.
So this drop hasn't been too effective. Like, Bunny was pretty, like, even a couple of units kind of like deterred the thought of the drop. The Viking Raven combo will also just take care of it. The auto turret's really quite good. Takes out a Cyclone. The medevac goes down to the Vikings, and in a worst case scenario, yeah, you could just drop the Vikings. I'm not really sure that was worthwhile, since the Cyclone would not have been able to do much more damage anyway. So the Vikings probably could have been saved if they just like flown away. That's definitely a mistake by Bunny, but he does hold against GuMiho's aggression. Now, the bigger problem is that while he holds, he was supposed to do damage himself, which he's now trying to do. But that, you know, actually pushed back his timing a little bit. And he still has to get across the map to damage GuMiho's third base, which has been down for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I guess once again, GuMiho was able to get that third up, and because it's aggression, Bunny has kind of, in a way, dropped the ball. Like, he didn't have another path to go to miss this army, so he stayed at home and he's played defensive. Now he's trying to get out. He does have the air superiority, so that's one thing that's going to be working in his favor here, but with some nice positioning from GuMiho, he makes it really hard for him to get across the map in time, and now GuMiho has some time himself to get a couple of Vikings on the way. He's got some extra tanks. Stim is just slightly behind Bunnies. Sorry, it's just slightly ahead of Bunnies, but yeah, he's still not got the ideal army to face off against this when Bunny has 4 Vikings and 2 more on the way, but can Bunny even properly get in here is the question.
That snipe on the Raven was beautiful. It was really low, and that one Marine's like, I got it, guys. And he did get it. GuMiho also sieging up on the top of the ramp like he did initially really, again, helped like push Bunny's timing off. Because Bunny at one point was almost doubling the army supply of GuMiho. If he had just let him come to the natural third base, he probably would have been broken. There's a lot of like tiny things that have allowed GuMiho to survive after that drop and utilize his third base economy. It's only just starting to kick in with his production. But Bunny is gotten his own third base finally. Orbital's just now finishing up. And he does still have really good Viking control. These medevacs actually aren't helping at all. But the Marine count's a little bit too large for GuMiho, even without Stim. Oh, there's Stim. Yeah, okay. He does take care of the tanks. Very nicely done.
I really didn't expect GuMiho to come out on top there. Like, that whole time looking at that army, I'm like, yeah, well, he has Vikings, he has a higher tank count. He should be okay. Like, if he really wants to push into this, he should be able to take it. But he hasn't, and like you said, GuMiho was being able to survive, and now he's looking pretty good because he's had that third base for longer. He's got 64 SCV, so he's sitting pretty at this point. He's just pumping out a few more. 2-1 is on the way, whereas the 1-1 of Bunny is still yet to finish. So Terran weapons actually coming out, vehicle weapons actually coming out for GuMiho as well. So he's gonna have the upgrade lead for quite some time at this point, and maybe he can use that to his advantage in the coming engagements, trying to hit with those upgrades finishing out. He's about to have 1-1 now, just slightly before Bunny. So I guess that window's kind of gone, but the +2 would be a nice one. He needs to be careful with these tanks. Don't do it.
Yeah,
does lose one.
Missile short's not quite done, and one Viking isn't enough to help take care of this drop. It goes into the third base and then decides not to. It goes in the main instead. I don't know about that. If it had dropped on top of the tank, it would have been able to kill it, or if it had just gone directly for the back line of the SCVs, the tank would not have been able to reach it. That could have been a more effective drop for sure by GuMiho. It's not over yet, though, and apparently one Marine's still alive? What are you doing? SCVs try to kill it. What? What is happening? Okay.
This is going for a bit of wonder.
Well, I don't know what happened there, but at least save the medevacs. They went through hell and back, and I guess they're fine now. GuMiho has a 20 army supply lead. He's going to have an upgrade lead with +2 and +1 vehicle, weapons, and Bunny just, I don't know if he can actually do anything here. He's going to try and hold. His tanks are siege. He has 5 of them, but the ones on the front line's going on super quickly. That concave of Marines might just be enough. 2 tanks going to hold for now, but GuMiho's rallying forward to the 4th base. Already almost done.
Yeah, this is actually a decent position for GuMiho. It's just far away enough that Bunny's kind of locked in this small pocket area, but close enough that he's feeling the heat a little bit. And in fact, GuMiho's going to stim and rush forward here to meet the Marines of Bunny, and the tanks that he has just shred those. He can actually push right on forward. Now all the tanks have gone down. He can de-siege his own and start moving them forward. I like how he only does 2 at a time. Doesn't get too brave there.
Yeah.
Because Bunny does have the defender's advantage, I guess. He still has units trickling in, but GuMiho is rallying everything in here at the moment, and he's taking a 4th behind this as well. So he is looking real good. Can Bunny even deflect this at this point?
I don't think so. GuMiho's rally is way too strong. I mean, the army that he had on the front line anyway was going to be too strong, I think, but the rally really it seals the deal. A drop on top of the tanks always looks super cool, but it was pretty desperate. GG. GuMiho takes the 2-1 lead.
One game away from taking the tournament, ladies and gents.
Yep.
He's looking pretty good. Bit unfortunate for Bunny to have lost game 2 the way he did, because now the pressure's on.
That was super questionable. We're going to get into the next game as soon as possible. We're going to take a quick break before then. Thanks for watching, everyone. Welcome back. We're into game number 4. And in the bottom left, as the blue Terran, he is Bunny.
And in the bottom right, the red Terran, GuMiho.
It is 2-1 for GuMiho. And thank you to XWings87 for the Twitch Prime sub. Had a lot of new subs today. A lot of resubs as well. So thanks a lot for all the continued supports. This is the finals. It is just a best of 5, so GuMiho could technically win it in this game. He has looked pretty strong in the, well, that last game looked strong for him in the macro game, I would say. And he had a lot of really cool moves that let him survive to the macro game, because Bunny was gearing up for a potentially deadly push. GuMiho even looked good in the macro game on Daybreak. It was only when things went topsy-turvy, kind of like almost base trade styles, that things end up going south, and in Bunny's favor, actually. So I don't know if Bunny can really replicate that. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
Bunny won't do. He won't go for Command Center first again.
Still bitter about that. I think he's learned his lesson, at least against GuMiho. I don't think he's going to be trying that again anytime soon, hopefully, at least. Because, yeah, that didn't really go so crash hard for him. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Bunny has good ideas. Like, he has good pressure. He often has a better army. But something about the execution or just, like, making it happen, you know, getting the damage done just isn't quite working out for him. GuMiho just seems a little more well-rounded in that sense. So I do favor him. Like, score aside, I do think he's perhaps a little better at TvT, but I can't really count Bunny out either, because he has given GuMiho a run for his money and made him, you know, like, really have to try to win. I mean, like, as you said, GuMiho basically just had to do things to survive in the last match.
Yeah.
And Daybreak was a mess anyway, so, you know, I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, they both go for one-base builds, which is a bit different. Of course, GuMiho went for the proxy, and that, you know, that game was whatever. But I think every other game, it's been about some type of expand, either a 1-Rex expand or maybe there's a factory expand in there. I think this is the first time they both actually gone up to that 1-1-1. And of course, the question is, what type of 1-1-1? Like, what are they actually getting out of their production facilities? We have Bunny going for a tech lab on his factory right near that starport, so it maybe gets Banshees. But okay, yeah, he's gonna leave the factory, so okay, so Banshees. Whereas GuMiho, he might add on Banshees later, has first added in the Hellion, which could have paired up with this Reaper, but unfortunately Reaper dies trying to get this scout. It did scout enough, I think, to see that it's going to be Banshees, and GuMiho could just go for the defensive setup.
Yeah, I believe he did see. Yeah, he saw the starport right next to the tech lab, so he should be good to go in terms of setting up for that. And there we go. Like, right away we see a Raven being cranked out for GuMiho.
Oh.
And that expansion follows up. So, well, okay, Bunny's actually gone for the Raven option himself.
That might make sense, considering that... Oh, that was sick. I was going to say, he probably could have one-shot it before it shot him. That was nice. If you see that your opponent sees your intention to go for Banshee, is there really ever a point in doing it? Especially since the Raven has been upgraded and the Viking has been upgraded to be even better in TvT. I don't think so. There are chances that a Banshee or 2 or 3, could still actually do damage, but it's very unlikely. So I like this better. I also like GuMiho's Widow Mine placement. That's going to catch a Viking, potentially a Raven trying to auto-harass.
Yeah. It's sort of pretty mirrored so far, aside from the couple more mechanical units from GuMiho. He does have that Cyclone and Hellion still rolling around. Hellion's actually being a pain at the front door, pulls all the units over there actually just to deal with it, and then he drops a missile turret at the back of this mineral line. So picking away at a couple of units. Not get too much done, but
I don't really know about that. I mean, GuMiho's still in the lead here. He's got his command center on the low ground, already turning into an orbital, and has a good army. But that was some pretty early auto turret harassment, and you know that their army's not really going to be spread out, barely able to cover it. But oh my god, that Raven's actually going to live? I mean, if it lives, then forget what I said. Okay, it's not. Bye, Raven. It definitely should not have, so it's good that Bunny, you know, actually got the kill, but...
yeah.
And I didn't really like the timing on that auto turret harassment. I think the Raven's actually a very useful tool throughout most stages of TvT, and to use it like that just ensured its death. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh well, like, if he really misses it, you could make another one. Not that you would at this stage. More important things to make, like Vikings. And GuMiho is actually heading out with even number of Vikings with his opponent. Difference is Bunny still has his Raven, so that works in his favor.
Oh,
They're both
That
well.
was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
Hey.
but
Oh my god. Oh my. At least the auto turrets got out. I'm not sure how, but they do a ton of damage, and that was a big difference maker. That Raven was supposed to go down without doing anything.
I didn't even have words for that engagement. Like, it was just very sudden, that one.
This is a bit dangerous. Yeah. 1 tank against 1, but 2 against 3 Vikings, and Bunny has taken the army supply lead. I gotta tell you, though, the auto turrets really made a huge difference. Now, GuMiho will have stim, and if he can just buy time for marine production, then his marine should get a good enough concave. Bunny is only relying on a couple of key units, not a lot of units. But GuMiho's gonna take damage before his production's quite ready.
Yeah, exactly. He just lost a little bit more that made it really difficult to engage this. It's going to be a tank on the high ground, but a nice scan, and the vision from the Viking there delays that from being useful at all. He's first going to take out that Viking. GuMiho's Vikings will take care of that. There we go. And the second one is up and ready for action, but Bunny comes up into the air with the other 3 that were previously on the ground. That leaves the tanks a little exposed, so he does manage to get rid of one. At the same time, Bunny lands on top of the siege tank, so Marines and tank do go down.
That tank was firing on the factory.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm not sure it could have fired on anything else. I thought it was firing at the tank initially, but the Vikings, of course, were in a dead zone. But that's quite bad. And GuMiho, I think he was just caught a little before he was ready. If he has 10 Marines already ready to go, I think this is maybe even not a problem. But no Marines, you know, getting caught off guard by those auto turrets, losing stuff, trying to defend a little bit more forward. It's all really added up here, and GuMiho might have to give up his natural base for a bit of time.
Yeah, I think so. Like, he's taken the worst trade almost every time at the moment. He has lost a lot. And now he's forced to spend his money on repairing this natural base to just try and buy himself some more time. A lot of workers have been killed too. Almost the entire mineral line has gone down, with more to come, and Bunny is just really turning up the heat here. Like, GuMiho is struggling. He's actually going for a counter drop, and this might be, I guess, the best chance for him to do some damage, but there's tanks ready for him. Bunny has thought of this already.
Yeah, he sieged his tank. He definitely could have saved that in that medevac, but just probably habit going in there. 14 SCVs have gone down. At least he's evening up a little bit more with killing 7 SCVs here, but unfortunately kind of F2s or something. All right, yeah, it's game over.
Wow.
GG, Bunny hits that crucial timing, and will take us to the ace match.
Yes, indeed. Going to the 5th and final match of the night between these 2 players, and we will see who comes out on top as the victor of still making Korea great. Our random Korean server tournament for funsies these past couple of weeks.
For funsies.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna speak on this while we get this up. People, I guess, confused, and this is absolutely my fault for making the names so similar. This had nothing to do with Make Korea Great Again. This was absolutely like, I called Zeph up one night and I was like, hey, you want to make some StarCraft stuff together? She said, sure. We're like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then that was pretty much it. This has no connection to the other tournament, which is going to be going on. This was like a once-off thing, so it's kind of fun that we could get together and do it. But yeah, I just want to emphasize the once-off part, because I know it's been asked on Team Liquid and Reddit and on Twitter. Like, this was a really cool thing that we got so many high-level people together for, but like, this was definitely not a league of any variety.
Yeah. Alright, we are ready to go for Overgrowth as our last map in this tournament. Countdown has started. Get hyped, guys, because it's the last game of the night, where we will be crowning our victor of this tournament. Should be good. Should be gravy.
Is gravy good? I haven't really ever liked it that much.
Really? I honestly think I've only had gravy like once a year at Christmas. I'm neutral. I like it, but
so everything's gravy means everything's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's
neutral. Gravy. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is the last game of the day, of the series, of this tournament, and in the top right is the red Terran. He is Bunny.
And after 2 marathon series in the bottom left, this is the blue Terran, GuMiho.
That last game, I would say again, it was the case where GuMiho had these leads, but unlike the game on Echo, he did not have that quite like, you know, tone the line type deal defense. He had the same ideas, actually, you know, meeting Bunny in a more forward position and trying to get some snipes off, and it almost worked, but those auto turrets really made quite the difference. I feel like without the auto turrets, GuMiho actually wins the fight.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win the fight, then at the very least he trades the army, which means that Bunny doesn't have 2 tanks to siege up the low ground, which turned into a strong rally, which turned into him winning the game. So that was a huge difference, and that could have been something just very tiny that's changed. But you know, it's like you still win the games. Doesn't matter how like close it was or how like, you know, desperate of a push it was. If it wins, it wins. And Bunny has taken us to the ace match with those type of games, basically. I mean, it's not that they looked weak in the one macro game, the one that didn't have like this crazy timing or anything like that, but I think GuMiho looked better in that game. And then once again, the Van Eyck game just doesn't count. Like it's just might as well be done there. No one else is to be done there.
Yeah, hopefully this one is a good one to end the night on. I sort of got to wonder as well how GuMiho is actually feeling, because he had a really long series against Scarlet, which ended up with a 2-1, and then he had that full best of 5 against Zest, and now he's here in a full TvT going to the 5th game. Like, I would find that draining. He's obviously a veteran, and maybe like he's not affected at all, but Bunny's had a bit of time to chill out before this. So that could be a minor advantage, just to like keep you cool and whatnot, especially in those like scrappy situations. God, TvT is just violent and messy, and I think we've certainly seen that. Like you mentioned, like those 2 auto turrets really turned the tide of the game into the favor of Bunny in the last match. Like tiny things like that turn the game on its head. So yeah. Let's see how this game goes. We got the 1-1-1 again from GuMiho grabbing a tech lab on that starport. What's Bunny got going on?
Okay, so GuMiho goes for the Banshees. Bunny has got his own Banshees going on. Oh, that's funny.
Hey!
Okay, well, that's sometimes what happens when you have a lack of scouting. The factory was shown for Bunny, but GuMiho didn't get any scouting on Bunny himself. Like, I mean, the worst case scenario is that both of them, one of them goes for a second Banshee and the other one doesn't. If both of them go for another Banshee, then it turns into this really weird, but has happened in the past, who kills more SCVs faster. If one person goes for a Raven and the other one doesn't, though, that's when things are like really just, well, I guess you just don't do any damage and you have like a bad start. We'll see what follows this up. It really should be, unless you absolutely know your opponent's not going for a Banshee, your follow-up should always be the Raven or the Viking. And nowadays, it's the Raven first almost always. Whereas before, it could have been the Viking. So that's what they do, and we'll see what damage can be done with their respective Banshees. This should be doing no more than maybe 5 or 6 SCVs worth of damage. Maybe a couple Marines. Anything more, and I think it's because the other person was microing and not defending, you know?
Yeah. I always kind of liked watching Banshee versus Banshee for that reason. Like, it should only do that much damage, but whether it does or not is a different story, because it's you get a micro and defend at the same time. It is not fun. That Hellion gets taken out pretty quick. There's the cloak coming down. You could get that SCV and stop that from building for a little bit. But with the Raven coming in, he is chased out of there. Unfortunately, GuMiho's CC is delayed, but similar sort of situation. The Raven's out, the Marines. Ooh, that mine, nicely placed.
Yeah, that ended up going good for Bunny to kill the SCV building command center, but then of course losing the Banshee is I don't know. Let's see what GuMiho can do being alive still. But big huge shout out to Therminator 101 for the 10,000 bits. Thanks to the great cast today, ladies, and thanks Rifkin for the color commentary on blowing and sucking. I'm not sure if you actually meant color commentary, like he was analyzing it thoroughly, or you meant play-by-play, but either way, it's great. Alright, so the Banshee, as I was talking about, did live for GuMiho, but it looks like it just... it decided to go way around. So I guess it's not going to be helping this push? I thought for sure it was going to try.
Yeah, I mean, that could easily help pick off a tank or something. Instead, he loses a tank on the front line, and the Raven has had the paint chipped off it as well. He has to go back and regroup, and this is a bit of an odd situation here. He's had to pull right back on out of there. What did he actually lose in that? He lost a tank? A couple of Marines or something? But the Banshee is back and doing a little bit of damage here. He's actually picking up quite a few more SCVs than I would have expected.
Yeah, well, the Raven is gone now for Bunny, so that ended up being a very effective maneuver and totally worked. The scan was available way too late, so 10 SCVs went down for a Banshee. That's amazing for GuMiho, especially after what was really not that great of a push to the front. Now we're at the same position we have been every single time Bunny, I think, has won this game, which is GuMiho did just lose his army. So Bunny has about 10 army supply lead and is going to try and use it. Can GuMiho buy enough time? Can his Viking-Raven combination be powerful enough? Can Stim actually affect this fight? Oh, tank,
God,
what are you doing?
Not if you lose a tank. Oh my god. Get back in there, you nerd. Alright.
Yeah, you do.
So, yeah, GuMiho's just barely ahead in that Viking count. If he doesn't lose any, he will stay ahead, and that'll help him not fall victim to a siege line from Bunny. But Bunny, like, he's still sort of not super confident about sieging up that position. Either way, he might swing around down from the watchtower instead. I don't know. GuMiho's like now moving about as well with those Vikings, just trying to find out where he's actually gone and make sure he keeps on top of this army, because if he's out of position, like as we've seen, that's where things get quite sticky to deal with. And GuMiho at the moment, like, he's got a nice worker lead, he's got a Viking lead, his army aside from Marines is pretty much the same as Bunny's, so he should be able to hold this.
I don't know about Bunny going in like this. Okay, he wasn't as YOLO as I thought it was gonna be. I saw his Vikings land, and I was like, you're not just gonna like run in, are you? How's that gonna work? But he does end up sieging up, and it is gonna be more about the Viking war. GuMiho, however, with that better economy, is really gonna start. It's gonna start showing in his army as his production finishes up. Of course, it already shows in his tech. He has stim. He's gonna have combat shields. All he needs is actual Marines. He doesn't have that high of a Marine count right now. But when he's at like 10, 15 Marines, that alone would probably be enough to like swamp this army. Like, they're gonna have stim, they're gonna have combat shields. They won't have medevacs, I suppose. So they're a little less powerful than we expect, but still, I think they're gonna be a lot better than Bunny's army, which really is just relying on positioning. Once the position is broken, it's not that great.
Yeah, it certainly is. And a lot of these units are actually hurt from Bunny as well. At least like 4 paper Marines in that army that aren't really going to be able to do too much. In fact, they've got like 1 health, so they basically may as well not be there. It's not a huge deal, but when the Marine counts are still pretty low, it does make some sort of difference. He's actually going to march in here with Vikings and siege tanks get a position up here. Tanks of GuMiho are already ready to go though. Where is the rest of the army?
It's doing a doom drop in the main base of Bunny. I thought Bunny, oh, this isn't a doom drop, it's a doom land?
Doom landing.
It's doom landing. It's what's happening. He gets stim. He's going to be able to kill so many buildings. Oh my god, the Vikings are so good right now. The tank setup from GuMiho was amazing as well. It really took out the good majority of Bunny's army. And I think GuMiho is just going to, he's going to take it. GG.
GuMiho, with the Doom landing, seals it out, takes first place in this tournament, wins himself $250. Well done to him. Bunny bows out with $100. Can't be too upset with that. But yeah.
I thought when I saw Bunny's scan, I was like, Doom drop. Wait, doesn't have any medevacs. Then I saw GuMiho's blob of an army, and I was like, Doom drops. Wait, doesn't have any medevacs. It was like super confusing. But thanks everyone for watching. As I said, Bunny does take second place. GuMiho takes first. I missed a couple of subs, so let me quickly shout that out. Thanks to XWings87 for the new sub. I don't remember if I got that or not, but Schroding for the new sub. Of course, Terminator with the massive amount of bits. And then NDT has just been a new sub. So thank you very much, everyone. Are we going to go to a commercial break?
Yeah, I just want to say really quick, sorry to Terminator about the whole cheer thing getting cleared. But before we go to the break to come back and say goodbyes, I just want to point out GuMiho was invited. Zeph was the one who picked the invites for this. and it was Bunny, Zest, Innovation, and Scarlet who all qualified through and won their spots into this. So it was really cool seeing somebody invited actually turn around and win this. Because I thought, like, wow, we have so many good people qualified. Like, who could we even invite at this point, right? You've already got Innovation and Zest. Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Anyways, 2-minute commercial break, guys. When we come back, we'll say our goodbyes. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. Learning all great things about Australians today. Once again, congratulations to GuMiho for taking first place in this little once-off thing at the Korean server. It was great casting with you, Zeph. She is the guest caster, and it was high time that we got casting together again. It's been 3 years since Two Girls, One Zotac Cup, and she'll be around a lot more on BaseTradeTV as I will be going to Nation Wars this coming week, so there'll be a couple of casts I'll be around for.
Before we get too excited, Zombie keeps saying a lot more. It's like 2 things she's filling in for. And I'm really happy to have Zeph back, but I just don't want everyone thinking like, oh my god,
that's
it's a new
4 times
okay.
as many as 2 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't even know if that's true.
That's a good guess. Like, pretty confident with that guess. Anyway. But yeah, the point is you'll be seeing her filling in for the ones that I can't when possible. So that's cool and everything. We have a lot of stuff on our plates, but of course you guys will check out the things that we've already announced, like Ting Season 3 on Team Liquid with the live round of 4th and finals. Check out the Match Arena fundraiser for the Foreigner House in Korea. Again, I'm sure the links will be provided in the chat as I talk about it, but there's rewards, there's, or close to the cooking stream with Scarlet type deal, and of course this is all going to lead into a Foreigner House, but also it's really huge, awesome thing called a tournament, a live tournament at the end of the year, put on by BaseTradeTV. And not quite how it's about time too. I don't even know if we're going to have like a clever name for it, but something similar. So if you want to contribute to that, you can either contribute at Match Arena or you can donate to the channel.
It should be bigger than Hell It's About Time if we do it right too, because Hell It's About Time we were dumb little tournament babby organizers. We didn't know what we were doing. We paid the bad venue. Could have been improved a lot of ways. So I think this one should be bigger and better if we hit that $30,000 goal. It should be clear though that I am fully aware $30,000 is crazy ambitious. We may not actually reach the goal. I mean, I'm actually feeling confident between now and a year from now, like we should hit that goal. But if we don't, for whatever reason, we're still just going to make the best of what we have. And this is going to be an event one way or the other.
Right. So, again, if you want to contribute Match Arena or donations through BaseTradeTV, we've agreed to send all donations to that fundraiser. So, easy peasy and squeezy.
Yeah, Zeph, I really enjoyed having you back. If people want to find more of you, you've got some events coming up you're casting, actually. Do you want to sell yourself real quick?
I do. If you want to follow me, it's FSE2 on Twitter. That is cool. I'll be tweeting about anything I cast there, either here or for the OSC Championship. So if anyone's not familiar with OSC, it's a whole bunch of weekly tournaments and cups and whatnot that get played out through the year. And when you participate in them and when you get deeper in the tournaments and win them, you gain OSC points. And the players with the most OSC points at the end of the year get invited to play in a championship bracket, groups and then bracket early on in the following year. So this year, for 2017, we're talking in January 6th to 8th. So I think that's 5th to the 7th for Americans. There'll be a whole lot of OSC tournament stuff going on. In fact, that whole week there will be group stages being played out. There's a Team Liquid there for it. I don't know the times exactly. I'm sorry, because I only know them in my time, which is not very helpful to most people who would be watching this right now. But they're on about midday Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time. So the OSC will be going on then. I'll be casting Friday to Sunday for that with Maynard, Death Pig, maybe a few others. The casting lineup was recently announced. If you follow at SE2 Online on the Twitterverse, they tweet about all the OSC related tournaments, and they'll be tweeting about this as well, and any tournaments if you're a player and you want to participate in the OSC for 2017. So yeah, that will be going on early on in January. And that is basically all I've got. Thank you for casting with me, Zombie Grub. It was great. And
Oh, yeah,
definitely
it
long
was
overdue.
fun times casting with Steph again.
Also, lots of love to Rifkin for doing the obs and stream and all that sort of stuff, guys. Behind the scenes makes our job really easy. So don't forget him being awesome behind the scenes. That is all for me. Thanks.
Yeah, follow the channel, subscribe to our YouTube, consider subscribing, all that good stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I just want to make it clear, this is our last cast of the year. In fact, we're not going to be back for a little bit anyways, because I think the Alima League is our first one, and that's in January. So I hope you all have a great New Year's. Party hard, but party safe. We'll see you guys next year. Bye.
Bye.